So I took this build in -40 mythic. Yes, that's still around. And I felt unkillable and unbeatable. I felt like these enemies couldn't do a dang thing to me. I felt like my resist was off the charts and I had stronghold on as a hunter. So in today's build, I'm finna showcase you guys how we can achieve this. What up guys, Alchemist here. It's something nice for you. So in today's build, we are using two exotics, right? We're using Triton Vice, which makes it that it increase the reload speed of our glaive, but increase the melee damage when surrounded. It's like a dumb amount, like 200%, I believe. And then it says glaive melee final blows overflow rounds to the magazine. Glaive projectile final blows detonate the explosion. We mainly here for the melee damage part. When we surround it, we do dumb melee damage, okay? To keep it simple as that. And then the exotic we're using is Vexcalibur. Vexcalibur gives us a void overshield whenever we block, and if we kill enemies, we keep the void overshield. And you do more damage with this glaive when you have void overshield on. This goes perfect with the artifact right now, where if you got a void buff, you weaken enemies when you hit them, okay? Your primary and heavy slot can be whatever you want it to be, okay? The stats we got in this build, you're just trying to get 200 melee stat and then try to get like 100 grenade stat, okay? Just so you can get enough, get your grenade uptime quick as possible to spam it whenever you need it to. You don't need to spam it, but you need to have it ready whenever you need to have it ready, right? Alright, artifact. So in the artifact, we have the main perk we need, which is Singularity Blade, that says White Hat Void, Elemental Buff, Melees, and Sword hits weaken targets. Not just swords. I know we mainly be using swords around here, but melees and sword hits weaken targets, and melee and sword final blows create a weakening burst. So if I go out here, pull this glaive out, as y'all see, first of all, Triton Vice exotic perk is right there. We say Harbinger Reach. As long as we surrounded by 3 enemies, we get this perk to increase our melee damage, and then we get away from 3 enemies for 5 seconds. We still have that perk on us. It's like Sentinel Cells, basically, right? So if I put on a Void Overshield by blocking with Vexcalibur, we got a Void Overshield, and I kill somebody, it fills up the Void Overshield, reset the buff, and I get the Void Overshield replenished, okay? And as you can see, every attack we're doing is weakening enemies, which will give us our other perk, which is Power from Pain. Rapidly killing weakened targets, give us Devour. So now we got Devour in this build, okay? Then the other thing we have in this build is where's that? Armor Smith. Breaking combatant shield temporarily grants you damage resistance and increase melee damage. The damage resistance is ×1, but we don't care for that. We're really here for the second part. It gives us 5 seconds of 100% increased melee damage. So whenever we break an enemy shield, we get dumb damage with this build. And then we got Void Infestation on, so whenever we kill a weakened target, it go find another person to weaken. Okay, those are the only artifact perks you need for this build. Void Overshield give us a 70% damage resist. Okay, then we have on the Sword Master artifact, armor set bonus that says blocking attacks with a sword or glaive grants a short period of damage resistance against combatants when you next drop your guard. Okay, this is time for resist for 3 seconds. Insane. Okay, so that give us 50% damage resistance on top of the 70% Vexcalibur damage resistance. And then of course we have Frost Armor in this build that give us another 50% damage resistance. So if I make these enemies fight me, right? If I make them fight me and I throw this down, if I break this block, attack, as you can see, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. They fighting for their lives, okay? They fighting for their lives. They really can't do a thing here. And then you got Devour in the build, so yeah. They can't do nothing. They can't do nothing, okay? So you got Void Overshield in this build. 70% damage resist from Void Overshield. 50% damage resist from Frost Armor. 50% damage resist from the armor set from blocking and then swinging, which you're going to be doing a lot using a glaive. And then we got Devour in this build to keep healing us whenever we get a kill, okay? But before we continue, shout out to today's sponsor, DVN.net. Guardians, I would like to recommend you all a great service the Traveler blessed us with, DVN.net. Here, you can find a team to complete different activities for you, like raids, dungeons, trials, exotics that you don't have, and even power grind. No longer do you have to torture yourself with grind level torture. You can give it to somebody else. You can torture somebody else with it, okay? All the services can be done without account sharing. So no worries about securing your account and having to give away your login information. To order a service like that, all you have to do is talk to an operator in the bottom right corner where it says chat and schedule a self-play appointment with your order. The website has been working for a long time. It has a lot of players, reviews, and payment methods. You can check out everything yourself, and with the promo code AlchemistKirito, you will have a 15% off discount on all services. If you have any further questions, just ask the operator in the bottom right corner. What you waiting for? Get help from deviant.net today. Subclass. Subclass, you don't really need much in subclass. I'm gonna be honest with you, you're just gonna be swinging glaive all day. The only thing you really need is glacial grenade so that we have something to do shadow dive on. If you don't know, shadow dive got buffed. Whenever you shatter crystals, you get false armor now. So if I shatter this full glacial wall, I automatically get times 8 frost armor for 13 seconds. And then once we do that, you're good to go. You got the 50% damage resist the whole time, okay? Then we got Glacial Harvest on, so when we pick up Stasis Shard, we get Frost Armor. So as long as we do the Shadow Die combo first and then start picking up Stasis Shard, we'll have that 50% on us non-stop. Now, what can we do to make sure that the Frost Armor never goes off? Devour gonna make sure we keep getting like Glacial Grenade back. For every kill we get grenade energy, right? So this is basically our Mercy get out of jail free card whenever we do run out of our Frost Armor. But you should never run out of Frost Armor as long as there's enemies around. Reason being, we're rocking a lot of few fragments here, okay? Combo fragments here. We got Whisper Reversal. Let's say while you have Frost Armor on, melee damage slows your targets. So our Vexcalibur will be slowing enemies whenever we swing with it. We stack this with Grim Harvest that says defeating slowed or frozen targets creates stasis shards. So if I bring these acolytes in here, if you pay attention, I never run out of Frost Armor when I beat up and kill them. My timer just keep resetting. As you can see, my timer just keep resetting because every time I kill a slower enemy, they make enough stasis shard, and then the stasis shard give me Frost Armor. Okay, so that's what we're utilizing here. I know they mad. I know they mad. They can't do really a goddamn thing to me. Just ridiculous. Look at you. Pathetic. All right. So that's the combo we're doing in this build. So we always have Frost Armor on non-stop. We just need to do Shadow Dive once with the Glacial Grenade, and then we're set for the whole run until there's no enemies around. But then at that point, you'll have another Glacial Grenade for the next encounters to do it again. Okay, this is not a Shadow Dive spam build. This is here simply for the damage resist, so we can go crazy with the glaive. Okay, then we got Whisper of Torment, so that whenever we take damage, we get grenade energy. Again, just to make sure we always have our stasis cruisers on us for every engagement, so we always have Frost Armor non-stop. Then we got Whisper of Shards that make it that when we do shatter crystals, it gives us uptime on our grenade recharge. Again, if you like fighting a boss or something, you can't get kills with Devour, so this helps us get that uptime up so we can't spam that cycle on the boss if we're swinging our glaive at them non-stop. Then we got Whisper Conduction on to pick up the shards. Whenever we kill the enemy, we don't have to run and pick up shards. They just come to us immediately. And then we got Whisper Orion to make it that the Frost Armor goes to 8 instead of 5, which gives us that 50% damage reduction. There's no other real fragment you need in this build because we're just going to be punching with the glaive all day. Okay? Then, armor mods, I got on Special Ammo Finder and Scout because I'm rocking 2 double special in this build, being retrograde with the glaive. And then I got Void Siphon, so when I get multiple kills with the glaive by shooting, you gotta shoot. The melee don't count as a void siphon, void kills because you're not technically doing void damage. I make overpower. I got 2 melee fonts on simply because I didn't have the right Sword Master armor to get me that 200 melee stat that I needed. So this gives me that plus 40 melee stat to do more damage with my glaive. Chest piece, we got the resist mods on, especially melee damage resistance because we're gonna be up close and personal punching these enemies. And then my lead piece, I got on innovation, pick up orb power on the ground, give you some more grenade energy. Then I got void scavenger and strength scavenger for the ammo for the mint retrograde and Vexcalibur. Again, so we punching all day in this build. There's really no synergy you have to do in this build when it comes to the armor mods. We're not spamming our grenades, we're not spamming our melee, we're not spamming our class ability because Shadow Dive is not considered a class ability. So we really don't need anything in the artifact really helping us get our abilities and stuff back quicker, okay? And you can't use surges because we're punching with the glaive, we're not shooting with it. So yeah, you know. And then we got 2 time dilations on just so that we do finally make orb power. Again, we really don't have really much synergy here when we swinging in our melee all day with the armor mods. But if you do kill people purposely by shooting the Vexcalibur, and then you do Reaper, Shade Step, and you shoot the Vexcalibur, kill the enemy, you will make an orb to pick a time dilation, so then the orb stay on for a long time until you do Shade Step again and then shoot your next enemy to get the orb out there. Again, you got to shoot with Vexcalibur to make Reaper give you an orb. You cannot use a melee attack, so that's what we're doing. I tried to make it, I wanted to make a build where we use Winter Shroud so we can Shade Step while punching stuff all day, get some more damage resistance, but it's just not better than Grim Harvest keeping that consistency with Frost Armor. If you can personally find a way to get Winter Shroud in there and still get your Frost Armors non-stop, then by all means go for it. You probably can, but you'll be relying off of Glacial Grenade 24/7, you know, coming back all day for you to keep shattering it to keep your Frost Armor non-stop instead of being consistent, which is possible. You put on Winter Shroud, get your grenade stat to 100, and you're relying off Devour to keep giving your grenade back quick enough with the other fragment I got on with the grenade. And basically, you're Shadow Diving the Glacial Grenade all day to get your ×8 Frost Armor for 13 seconds, and then you can just Shade Step with the Winter Shroud to get even more damage resistance in the build, making you even more unkillable. But I couldn't make it work consistent, maybe because I don't have 100 grenade stat as well. But hey, this build still cooks, As long as you know how to guard swing to make sure the Sword Master perk keep kicking in, you're unkillable. Okay, you're unkillable unless a bunch of goddamn Boomer Knights start shooting at you from a distance. You're unkillable. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this glaive build. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up. Enjoy the gameplay footage.
Objectives complete. Bet that made him angry.